Hey all, Tony Bing here. Hello and welcome to another in-depth review for Marvel Strike Force. Now, for today's video we will have a look at Rocket Raccoon. He's a character that came out top in the poll I put on my community channel recently. Now, just before we get into what we will cover in this video, I'll quickly mention that yesterday I went to the dentist with a sore mouth. Unfortunately I had to get one of my back teeth extracted. It was quite a big one. I think the root was a good few centimetres, so if in this video my voice sounds a bit strange for any reason or more stranger than usual, that's the reason for it, so do bear with me. Now onto the video anyway. What we'll start off with is a general overview where we look at where you go to unlock him and also his tags. We'll then check out his stats, next up it's abilities, we then have his synergies, and finally we see where he places in the tier list. So we'll start off then with the general overview. So Rocket is a blaster class then, and he's all about putting out damage over a wide area because he actually has an AoE on his basic and also his ultimate as well. Now when we look at the tags he has, they're Hero, Cosmic, Tech, Blaster and also Guardians of the Galaxy. Now in time, as we get more Guardians of the Galaxy characters, the synergies between them look particularly good, so that is something to watch out for. You've got of course the Blaster event he can help out in, and then you have the Tech tag which quite a few characters can help buff Tech characters, and then finally you've got the Cosmic tag which is great for that campaign because it is pretty solid. Now in regards to unlocking him, a lot of controversy with this one. In soft launch he was available via an event that it seems only certain players were given access to, and that allowed you to get him up to, I think it was in the region of about 4 stars. Now hopefully that event will come back, but we've not had any word what will happen. In the meantime, the only way to really get him would either be via premium orbs, mega orbs, Ultimus orbs, or if you see the shards come up in the store. But personally I wouldn't ever really recommend buying those shards for a character from scratch. Yes, maybe buy them if you need 5 or 10 more shards to finish off unlocking a character, but certainly don't go buying 100 shards from this store because it would cost you an absolute fortune. Now with that covered, what we'll do is we'll have a look at his stats. From an offensive point of view then, Rocket can put out an absolute ton of damage. His damage rating, it shows as A here, but he was one of the outliers that I actually had to remove, so his damage in effect would be A+ or S rating. His speed is C, which is not too bad there, and then his focus is A as well, but that's not really relevant because he's not applying debuffs to targets. Other parts of his kit that can help out from an offensive perspective is that he's got increased crit chance on one of his skills, and he has assists in counters as well, so offensively he does very well. When we look at his defensive stats, he is most certainly a glass cannon character, and he's putting out a ton of damage, but he can't actually take much damage himself. So his health is way down at F, so that's one of the lowest health ratings in the game. His armour is D, so that's not mitigating his low health. His resistance is B, so that's nice, that's way up there, and it means it will be hard to stun or slow him. Now from a defensive perspective, although he doesn't have the health or armour to mitigate any damage, he's got some synergies with Groot, and that's something we'll look at a lot more once we do get to the abilities section, and they're actually really nice, and I do like the integration they've done with this. Now let's actually have a look at the abilities. For the abilities here then we have 4 in total to look at. It's the basic, special, ultimate and also the passive. Now I'll show off the tooltip for the ability maxed out, but what I'll do when we're discussing each individual ability is I'll let you know if it's one that's worthwhile actually maxing out. Now the first one we'll look at, this is the passive, it's called Expert Tinker. So with this, on turn you have a 40% chance to apply a random positive effect to 2 allies, and also take allies gain 5% damage. It's okay, this passive, it's really nothing special. The 5% damage is pretty low, and the fact that you only have a 40% chance when it's maxed out to apply a random effect that may not particularly be useful on the character it's applied on pulls it down a little bit. Regarding how high you want to take it, I would say you can get away with leaving this at level 3, because with that you'll still gain the 5% damage to take allies, and then you have a 30% chance to apply a random positive effect to 1 to 2 allies. So park this one at level 3. For the basic, we have a really nice skill here. This is called Rocket Raccoon, and it actually works as an AoE hitting adjacent targets, so make sure that you're not targeting any enemies that are on the far left or far right, because that means you'll be hitting 2 rather than 3 enemies. Now if we look at what it does, you attack the primary target for 180% damage. It's not the highest, but it is an AoE, and also adjacent targets for 150% damage, and it has an increased 15% critical hit chance, and that critical hit chance can actually work really well with our characters, and we'll look at that more when we do get to the synergies section. Regarding how high you want to take this particular ability, I would say max it out, because if we don't, then you're losing primary target damage, adjacent target damage, and you actually lose some crit chance on it as well. So definitely take this one up to level 7 when of course that is available in game. For the special, we look at our first skill where we see some interaction with Groot. I really do like that they've done this. This is called Pretty Good Plan. It's 3 turns to charge and comes fully charged. Now with this, you attack the primary target for 340% damage and you gain an assist from a random ally. Now once Groot is released in the game, this skill becomes much better, because when you have Groot in your team, so if he's your ally, you gain an assist from Groot and you apply taunt to Groot for 1 turn. So that's really awesome being able to do that there, because from what we've seen in data mines, Groot has a ton of health and also he's able to heal himself and clear debuffs as well. So putting a taunt on him would certainly help you out, and it takes some of the aggro away from Rocket as well. So really nice skill this one. You do want to max it out as well. For the ultimate, we have a skill called Maximum Damage. It's 4 turns to charge and it comes with 1 charge. Now this is another one that integrates with Groot, and Rocket actually jumps on his shoulder and fires all over the screen. It looks awesome. So with this, you attack all enemies for 300% damage and you gain 2 counter. And if Groot is an ally, you attack all enemies for 360% damage instead. So this is an absolutely fantastic skill, and it's one that without a doubt I would say that you want to max this out. This can be a bit of a game changer. It's a bit like the likes of Crossbone's Explosion or Quake's Ultimate, in that it really can turn the tide in a battle. Now with the abilities covered, what we'll do is we'll have a look at his synergies. When it comes to characters that Rocket can work well with, we have some really interesting combinations here. Now the most obvious ones first would be Guardians of the Galaxy characters, and specifically through Star-Lord he can gain energy, through Groot he can gain Death Proof once Groot is defeated, and through Gamora he can gain an additional 15% crit chance. He sadly doesn't really gain anything from pairing up with Drax, other than the fact it would be pretty cool to have the whole team together. Now next up you then have Vision. Vision on his passive will apply defense up at the start of a fight to the lowest health tech allies, and chances are that will be Rocket due to his low health pool. And then finally you have Iron Man. Now he would work great because he provides additional crit chance for tech allies. He actually offers a whopping 25% extra crit to tech allies. So if we factor that in with Rocket's basic, where he has a 15% chance to crit on it, and you already have a 10% chance built in, that's 25% chance coming from Rocket, and then 25% chance coming from Cap. So a 1 in 2 chance for his basic, which is an AoE to crit. You then throw Gamora into the mix as well for a further 15% crit. I think you can see where I'm going with this. It could be a really nice combination, and it's one that I can't wait to try out. Now with the characters that you want to team them up with covered, we'll have a look at the characters you want to avoid. When it comes to characters you want to avoid as Rocket, we don't really have a lot of very obvious characters that are able to counteract what he does. Of course, he is squishy, and if a high amount of damage is dealt to him quickly, then that will take him out, but other than that, he doesn't really have any specific weaknesses. Now, characters that could take advantage of the fact he's squishy would be Korath, Gamora and Daredevil. They can all attack very quickly and they're very hard hitting on their first turn. Korath can also apply ability block as well. Gamora with her basic that can sometimes hit for 3 turns would have the potential, I imagine, to probably take him out on the first round. That would be a right bummer to see that happen if it did happen to you. And then Daredevil can also chain his attack as well. You also have Black Panther in there, who's pretty hard hitting, he's fast and he can apply slow on that first turn as well there. So they're characters that you would want to avoid. Now, with all that covered, what we'll do is we'll have a look and see where he places in the tier list. So just before we get into where Rocket would actually place in the tier list, then let's look at his positives and his negatives. Now, you've got his extremely high damage, one of the highest damage ratings in the game. You've got his huge crit chance potential, that's something we discussed when we looked at the synergies. And you've got the fact that he's got 2 AoE skills, he's got his ultimate and he's got his basic skill as well, and he's got the numerous assists if you pair him up with Groot, Guardians of the Galaxy characters. You've also got the fact that he synergises exceptionally well with a Guardians of the Galaxy team, and the Guardians of the Galaxy characters in the game at the moment are very strong. Gamora and Drax are way up there as some of the best characters in the game, so the fact that Rocket can synergise well with them is even better. Now, regarding his downsides, you have got the fact that you really need Groot to fulfill him to his full potential. This will be relevant as to what tier I'm placing in, and I'll give more info on that in a moment. And then you've also got the fact he's very squishy as well. And this pulls us back to Groot. So Groot can help him out from an offensive and defensive point of view. Now, although we don't have Groot in the game, we have seen his kit. It's available via msf.gg, and you can also view it in game if you're fighting off against a Groot. Pause the game, go into settings, and you're able to see his kit there, so we can see what he will offer Rocket. Now, as it stands at the moment, I would say that Rocket would be a level 3 character. However, when Groot is released in the game, he would without a doubt be an alpha character. Groot offers a heap of benefits to him, so for the purpose of this video, the fact we know Rocket's coming, we know what his kit will look like, and we'll be placing him as an alpha character. Now, with Rocket covered, next up I do have Iron Man to cover. He was next up in the poll, and that actually works perfectly with the Iron Man event coming up soon. Now, on the subject of the Iron Man event, I done an unlock guide quite a few months back. Is still relevant in regards to the characters you want to farm, and also how the event actually works in regards to how many characters you need at certain levels to do different tiers, and how many shards you need to unlock Iron Man. Now, I've got that pinned at the top of my channel, but I've also put a link to it in the description of this video as well, so feel free to check that out. And as always, thanks for tuning in. I think we managed to get through this despite my huge hole that I've got in my gum at the moment. We managed to get there, so yeah, thanks as always, and I'll see you all again soon.